All right, now we're here. I was muted. I was talking to no one except myself and the 150 or so people that are here right now. But we are back live here at Scotty's Pro Cutter University 32nd annual, and we have wrapped up our two presentations that Profits Unlimited does. I think they both went great. We're going to get Katie on here in just a moment to talk about how she thought they went. She, of course, did one. The majority of the one she did on communication. Both of those, like I said, went great. And I think just overall, it seemed like that people were really tuned in for them. They were really listening for something to, like you said, take away, because a lot of times you go to something and it's like, I just want to learn something I can use. I want to learn something that I can apply right away. That's people want answers, and that's what answers really are, is something you can apply right away. And you get them, I think, when, you pay attention as well. Of course, like if you're listening to something great but you're not paying attention, not going to get anything from it. If you're listening to something that doesn't have anything great in it, you're not going to get anything from it. And I think today we had the combination of both of those things. Like I said, we're done with those. Presentations are over. People are now kind of intermingling in. They are talking to the three main equipment manufacturers that are here today. They have kind of a very unique system of how they do things, and they have a very interesting way of making all the vendors get their time, more or less. And just the whole way they run this thing is perfect. There's always things you could do better, but in my opinion, it's a pretty perfect system that they have here. How they do things, they don't just say, oh, this is our 32nd year, so people know what's going on. They know how to do it. They know blah blah blah. No, they make it feel like, hey, this is something. It's the 32nd time we've done it, but if you haven't been a part of it, this is how we do it. This is what's going on. They keep you well informed. They keep you moving. They keep you constantly doing something new and different, talking to new people and making those connections and talking to new, sales reps maybe that you aren't familiar with, to learn different products and all this kind of great stuff, as well as, like we mentioned, they have great, discounts today. They have great door prizes, if you want to call them that, stuff that they draw for. And just you couldn't do it any better than they do it. It's, in my opinion, the Equip Expo is awesome and it's great, but the personalization that you get at something like this that's smaller is unique, and it's special, and it's something that, if you can't get, even if you could, but if you can't get to the Equip Expo, try to get to a local show. Try to get to a local open house that offers seminars, that offers something that's really going to give you that feel for, I'm a part of this industry. I'm not just doing the work. I have met people. I have connections on the dealer side. I have connections on the equipment, manufacturer side, all of it. And that's what you get here today at the 32nd Annual Pro Cutter University. So coming to you live from Hopstotz, Indiana, Vanderburgh County here in Indiana. It's great to, venture out of the state to feel, like, in a sense, we're getting away from our home base that we come to you live from in Louisville, and we're getting to hopefully have a positive impact here with what we're doing from the seminar side, and positive impact on what we're going to be doing here on Turf Slip Radio, just bringing you the awareness of the event and all that kind of good stuff. That's what we're here to do, and the awareness that these events are out there. So seek them out in your local community. You're going to really feel like you have, like I said, just taken another step into being a part of the industry, not just providing the service. And, both of those are important aspects to being a business owner, to being in business, is to have that community aspect behind you. So that's, as we, are here today, you're seeing a lot of conversations, you're seeing a lot of interaction and things like that to help grow the industry and the pride of the industry. That was a part of what Wayne talked about today. Was, of course, profit is the number one reason you're in business, was kind of his overall topic, but pride is a big part of that aspect of profit, because if you're not proud of what you do, you're probably not going to be taking it seriously. You're probably not going to be, putting your best foot forward. You're probably not going to be communicating as professionally as you could be if, with what Katie talked about. You're probably not going to take your cost calculation and bidding and estimating as seriously as you should be if you don't have pride in it. And all of that and more impact your profit. So it seems like there's a lot of pride for the industry in this room for what individuals do on a daily basis, and not to mention just a lot of really, fun having, seen the people that we see have seen for the last, Wayne, in some cases, the last 25 years. So pretty cool to be a part of that. Me just here in the last probably 5 years or so being a part of this event, getting to be here. And I've seen people that, I've seen every single time, and, you catch up with them. How's it going? All that kind of good stuff. We've heard some pretty funny stories. I'll wait to share, one we just heard when Katie hops on here. Aaron, if you are out there, if you're listening, I'll text you if you're not. But if you are and if you want to call in, feel free to call in. We can chat about your experience. We can chat about, how how your what you've taken away from this. Your gosh, what did Katie call it at the end of her presentation? She had a specific word for it. I can't remember what it was. But whatever your, what your takeaways here.
Aaron Walls.
The Purple Walrus. Let's see if we can get him on here. Purple Wally, are you there? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Can't hear you. Hold on. Oh, that's because I am not connected. Here we go. Now can you hear me?
I can hear you just great. Am I too loud?
No, you're fine.
Sorry. I'm in the truck, headed
Okay.
down 64.
There you go. Back on the road. Right before, I'm sure you heard it, but, I was talking about just this event and how almost potent it is. Like, everything's so compact. It's so right here. Everybody is passing passing everybody, so you're not going to be like, oh, I didn't know you were there, or, I didn't have a chance to do this or listen to that or whatever. I didn't have a chance to get the deals. At events like this, it's so potent. So that's just really cool that this event exists in and of itself. But what were some of your takeaways from today's event here at the 32nd Annual Pro Cutter University?
The deals, man. The deals. You can buy stuff. Those are eye-bulging.
Absolutely. Without a doubt.
Yeah, I bought some Echo stuff.
Nice.
Probably didn't need it, but I bought it. I wanted it. It's shiny. But it's not like that new price shiny where you buy something and you never use it. But I can use an edger and I can use a pole saw.
Right.
Still get used.
Sometimes it's just such a good deal you can't pass it up.
And I didn't.
Hey, you're helping the economy, right? You're taking some of that snow profit, you're reinvesting it in your business, you're investing it in somebody else's business, and you're keeping the economy rolling. So that's the whole idea of it all. But yeah, the deals are certainly big today. From a presentation side, the Prophet himself did the first one today on profit, his namesake title. Biggest takeaway from that for you, what was that?
Mine was Katie's message on not getting mad when people call in.
Yes.
I know I talk to Wayne all the time, and everybody hears Wayne all the time. But I feel like Katie should be doing a show on all the stuff that she's offering.
Yeah,
she did great.
I agree. I think, she did really well, and not just from the perspective of, hey, she has a lot of experience and she presented it well, it's a big aspect, obviously, for presenting. But the information itself, I think, was very takeawayable from the sense of, hey, I can go apply that today to my business. I can go and be smile when I answer the phone today. I can go, not get mad when an angry customer calls today. I can do all of these things. A very applicable kind of presentation.
Yeah, and we need to hear it. I don't know how many times I've gotten pissed right back at somebody when the day really had nothing to do with me. I was the last person that they'd seen. They spent their money on me, and then here it is, I'm just a lawn guy.
Right.
It's easy to take it out on.
Yep. Sometimes it feels like you're the last lawn care and a few other ones for sure. I'm sure feel like this industry, service industries feel that way of like, I'm the last one to get respect. I'm the last one to get paid. I'm the last one to, people look at as a professional. And, I think at first, of course, it starts with that's how you have to view yourself, but then, demanding that from your customers and how you present yourself back to them is an important aspect. If you're yelling at them because they are yelling at you, why should they see you as professional? So, that is an important message.
Yeah, I got it on my board at home. No bad reviews. People are going to be people, and they're going to give me one if they feel like it anyway, but I don't need to give them a reason to. An easy one.
Yeah, 100%. It's Katie's actually having a conversation right now as we speak with a gentleman about Google reviews and how to get that kind of ordeal set up and how to get them and all that kind of stuff. And that's important information as well in and of itself. And, not to this particular gentleman right here, but I'm not talking to him, but that is stuff that we have in the Profit Circle, actual steps on how to get your Google business profile set up. Because anyone can say, hey, go get reviews, but if you as the business owner don't know how to even get a review or tell someone where to go or have it set up to get reviews, then it's not going to matter at the end of the day. So, but yeah, that's funny that you mentioned reviews right there because he's or she's talking about it right this second off the air.
Yes. Yeah, I hear Wayne say it often, but it's good to hear it. Yep. He says you don't pay yourself out of profit. I like the way he says that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people resonate with that, and you actually, being there live at the presentation, you heard several people have reactions to that, whether it was a laugh of kind of like, yeah, I get that, or, oh, yeah, that makes sense. I should probably, think about that, or whatever. It's something that hits close to home, right? Like both of those things are very close to home because they both involve money. Your pay and paycheck, however you want to look at it, and your company's profit. Both of those two things are very emotionally connected, emotionally charged, and when you put them in the same statement, people listen up, their ears perk up when you talk about those two things.
Yeah, I sat in the back this year just so I could see what was going on.
That's what Katie said. She said, she had some whisperings with you during a little bit, and getting the walrus's perspective here on all of what's going on. So that's funny. Did it feel like a different? Because I think last year weren't you kind of right up there up front?
Yeah, well, the past couple of years it put me up front. Dang it, it's in the back. I was able to sneak in the back.
Was it different at all? Feel like a different sense just being in the back versus being in the front?
It was different. I felt like I could see and read the whole room.
Yeah.
And usually there's always somebody up front that feels like they need to talk the whole time and it distracts me. So I was able to see
oh, yes.
There's always somebody that has to have that conversation that's so important.
I know it.
To happen right now.
I remember last year you were talking about that, and you were just like, if I didn't have the restraint that I have built up over the last couple of years, I would have been in a fight with this person that's sitting next to me.
I feel like it's the same company that has the same crew of people that talk. Like, not one face was the same for that business, but they were their business is the same one that talks every year.
Yeah. It's just like, to me, if you're going to talk, I'm not, saying you should talk, but if you're going to talk during someone's presentation or just talking in general, don't sit in the front, sit in the back where it's not going to interrupt the speaker at least. At the very least, you're not going to have as much of an interruption on the speaker. Now, even Katie was like, yeah, I could hear the whispers from all the way in the back, and I don't know. It's just, it is crazy that people feel like they have to, in that exact moment, they can't just be quiet. Even if they're not going to pay attention, just be quiet.
They probably get paid to go, and then they just don't want to be there.
Right, yeah. I will say that it does seem like, though, while there can be some times of, murmurs just in general, It seems it's more of like built on the conversation that's going on or built on the presentation as a whole. Um, People are maybe talking about specific things in the presentation uh, versus just chit-chatting about random stuff. Now, I think the people we're referring to probably not as much, but as a whole, I think that's a lot of times what is going on, which is at least promising that they're paying attention.
Yeah, I think he does a good job of bringing up topics that he knows gonna, perk the ears, get the attention, get people talking, get them interested. You don't want to lose the crowd, and it didn't seem like he had lost the crowd.
If you lose the crowd, you're at the will of the masses at that point. You don't know if you're going to have a mob or what is it called, a rally or whatever. You could literally anything could be going on at that. When you're standing up there, you gotta control the masses, and it's funny because Katie was like, before she went on and we were talking about it, she was like, I'm not afraid to give them my teacher eye, the side eye teacher eye, or do something, to get them back in the game here. So I think hers went pretty well in those regards. So overall, people are here to learn. There are a few people that are just, taking up a day and getting paid for something. But as a whole, 99% of people sitting in that room, they're there to learn. They're there to pay attention, and that's exactly what they did. So a big thanks to not just them, but also to Scotty's for making an event where people want to do that. To get people here that are serious about that, not just because it's great when it's like anybody can come and blah blah blah, but you want the right people there. It's similar to the Profit Circle in a sense, right? Like you don't just want anybody to be in there, otherwise it's just like another Facebook page, right? Like you want the people that are serious, and for the most part, that's who is here today, are the serious people.
Yeah, it was neat to see. Once again, how did the presenters perceive it? What do you guys see when you go up there?
So
it's great, or they look receptive, or have we lost the crowd, or you just indifferent? Like, man, I don't really know how they take it.
Right. I think from the very limited that I did, I don't, just for those people out there who don't know and whatever, I don't present on topics per se, but I'll go up and talk about, the podcast that we do, all the free resources we offer, the Profit Circle, that kind of thing. Luckily, I go up at the very beginning of the first presentation, so everybody's still, very receptive. But I think as a whole, that's what Wayne typically talks about. We'll have to see what Katie's reaction to that is this year. But Wayne always is like, people are there to learn, and that's what it feels like. And to me, when I look out and I'm up there for a minute or 2 minutes, whatever I am, people are looking at you. They're paying attention. They're not, on their phones and all this other stuff. So makes you feel like the hard work you put into that presentation and the fact that you're there, you're going to be talking to people who want to hear what you have to say, which is really nice.
Is this the last in-person you do for the year, or do you do a couple more?
I think this will probably be the last one. This has been one of our slower, if you want to call it that, years. The Prophet did in September have his hip done, so he was pretty much, I don't want to say out of service because he was actually back pretty quick, but he was, just recovering, doing rehab, all that kind of stuff until maybe like the 1st of December-ish time frame. So we didn't get out and get the fall swing in where we sometimes do a few. And as of, now it's February 26th, I believe. So, people are going to be getting back in the field. They don't, they aren't going to come in for a seminar most likely because it's too nice. They want to go out and mow and get their jobs done. So, yeah, this is about the wrap up to the season for seminar season. But that's why the Profit Circle is so helpful and so important for people to get into. It's weird. People think, I got to get out of the Profit Circle because it's spring, summer, and busy in the fall. But that's actually the best time to be in because we deliver the information that you want and need at your convenience. It's not a live, like we do 1 or 2 live things per month, but even those are recorded for you. But everything else, the 15 to 20 other pieces of exclusive content, like that's recorded for you to watch when you get home, and or listen to on the way, to home or between jobs, or like, it's actually the best time of year to get in the profit circle is right now. It's kind of an aside to the point, but there is information, there is education out there at any point of the year, and the Profit Circle and Turfs Up Radio is a great source to take advantage of those things.
Yeah, and there's no peanut gallery, so I don't feel like a dumbass when I ask questions. Nobody laughs at me or points or says I'm stupid or anything like that.
Yeah, it's really.
What I like about it.
I agree, and just not even being like in your shoes from being a patron or whatever of the group itself, but it does seem like it's very open, and people, our patrons, our attendees that are in the Profit Circle. I was about to say our disciples. That might be a little sacrilegious,
Yeah.
but it's like you guys really do like bounce ideas off of each other, or aren't afraid to say, hey, this is a weird situation that happened, or I don't know if we're about to calm down. Oh, I gotta, we have to TBD this conversation, Purple Wally, but we will be back here. We will be back here around when lunch starts, so stay tuned, and we'll see you then. Other than that, Purple Wally, I'll see you.
See you, buddy.
Bye. Alrighty, Turfs Up, we're back here, and I just wanted to hop on again because we're coming to you live from a great event here in Hobstadt, Indiana, and I don't want to undersell it, and I want to continue to share what's going on. We had to hop off real quick because of some announcements, and we are up here in the front near the announcements, and it's not a small venue, but it's certainly, if I were talking regularly, it would be somewhat interruptive. So got to do our best to respect the hosts here, and they are great hosts, so we do that. But now back to kind of our thing, and we got lunch coming up, and a continuation of what has already been going on with some great conversations. Meeting, not meeting, but I guess, just re-meeting. What do you call that when you just meet, when you're, gosh, what is that called? I don't know what I'm even looking for. The word where you're just like seeing people you've seen before, but not in a long time, but you don't see them a lot, whatever that word is. We're doing all that and more here at the 32nd Annual Pro Cutter University, seeing new faces combined with those faces that we have seen for the last 20-plus years. And that's just a testament to how great this event is and what it does for the industry. It really helps to educate and elevate, as we try to do here on Turfs Up Radio, but it keeps people in business. I mean, it sounds like that's a big thing to say. That sounds like it's a big claim, but when you are able to get educated, you can do better in your business. When you feel like you're part of a special, community, a special industry, you take pride in what you do, which means obviously you're going to continue to do what you do at a higher and higher level, taking everything even more seriously. But the point is, I do think that it's not overselling it, that this event in particular, but events like it really do keep companies in business. And it's great to keep seeing the same faces over and over again, especially when you know the failure rates for this industry. Being a small business owner is not easy, but especially in this industry, it's one of the most, I think it's the second highest turnover, failure rate, whatever you want to call it, of any industry besides restaurants. So it doesn't take a long time. Actually, I think Wayne mentioned today that specifically landscaping business, it's 18 months, I believe, is what the average length in business was. So it's got to be something that we start to, as an industry, take more seriously, and events like this really do put that at the top priority, of being educated, being, understanding the importance of training, and a combination of networking and just in general camaraderie, at stuff like this. So if you're just now tuning in, once again, we're at the 32nd Annual Pro Cutter University, one of the best, if not the best, open house that in the States, in the U.S. You know, I mean, we've been to quite a few, and there's all around. There's great ones. There's some high quality when it comes to all the aspects that are here at other ones. There's some great ones out there, but this one certainly is, I can say comfortably second to none that I've ever been to. And that's not, once again, a slam against any other ones we've been to or that are out there. It's just, it's a testament to how well run it is and to how much of a true resource that this is for those, not just within this small community of, Vanderburgh County and Hopstock, but people come from, Evansville. Purple Wally came from, gosh, give me your Purple Wally. Text me in your hometown name or your town name. I can't remember off the top of my noggin here. Illinois, Kentucky, Indiana. Those 3 states, though, are represented here, and that's special. That's a unique thing when it comes to these kind of things. Is the how powerful this thing is, how well known it is, how respected it is, and how much people really want to be here. And the cool thing is, this is one of those events that you have to RSVP for. You have to be invited to, because they want to keep it something that's more than just a lunch, more than just here's a mower, here's a hot dog, here's somebody that's going to talk to you for a few minutes kind of deal. And those have their place, right? Maybe for certain situations, that's all you need for some situations. But if you want to build something that's, building up the industry, that's elevating and educating and keeping, keeping people in business for longer, then make sure, check out events like this, and whether you're an attendee or someone looking to do one, this is one to look at for the best example or a top tier example of that kind of thing. So yeah, I will say I'm pretty hungry. The first meal I had this morning was about 3:40. Had some coffee, had a protein shake, and it is 12:51 Central, so at home in Eastern Time it's 1:51. So it's almost been 12 hours, which for me is a while. I'm not gonna lie. I eat about every 4 hours, and this to me is a stretch, especially when I only had a protein shake or a protein bar and some coffee to start the day off. So I'm ready. I'm ready to eat. I'm ready to get some of this delicious barbecue, Mark's Barbecue. Tony Marks, I believe, is the gentleman's name, the owner. So just a little plug there for, if you're around the area. But they always do lunch right for sure as well. I think they typically, or at least very recently, have used Mark's Barbecue because, once again, it's a connection. It's the trust. It's the follow through with the great service, the great food that they provide. So it's not just the lawn and landscape industry, of course. All these things are applicable over any industry, whether you're in, restaurants, whether you're in dog kennel, whether you're in welding, whether you're in irrigation, whether you're in, hardscaping, whether you're in landscape lighting. Doesn't matter what it is. Plumbing. Doesn't matter what the industry is. It's all, set into a foundation of what we talk about and what business is, regardless of the industry. So, yeah, like I said, I'm ready for lunch, though. They got some great food, great barbecue. Always having, just top tier everything here. And actually, now that the doors are being opened, it's making me remember what we talked about this morning, Katie and I, about maybe getting outside and seeing some of the demos of stuff. I think they had some sort of track, somebody said, out back, and they're going to, do some things with that. But regardless, that would be kind of fun. We've never been out there. I've never been out there, at least, and checked that out. We're always, hunkered down in here talking to people, doing our thing, and it looks like that's what we're probably going to be doing today because people seem to be really interested, and that's great, in bettering their business and coming up and talking to us here at the booth. So, if we don't make it out there, certainly no big deal. We'd much rather stay in here, help people have conversations, make connections, and continue to do what, our mission is here, both at Turfs Up Radio and Profits Unlimited, and that is to elevate and educate the industry. So, it does feel nice outside, though. I will say that, standing by the door a little bit earlier. Great day to juxtapose. That's a hard word to say. Juxtapose against, a week ago, actually, the prophet himself was talking about getting out last week around this time and treating snow and ice, for snow and ice management, plowing, I think he said. We had like 4 events last week, so it's hard to remember which one was which. But, yeah, we were on the way here talking about that amongst a few other topics on our 2-hour trip from Louisville. So, but yeah, when you look outside today, and I don't know exact temperatures, but let's just say it's 60 degrees. Last week it was like 12 degrees. So we're ready for the warm up. Snow and ice management is great, but when you see all this equipment and you see all the contractors and you see the sunny day, I don't know how sunny it actually is, but warmer day. You get motivated for spring. You start to think, man, you can smell the grass, you can smell the freshly cut grass, you can smell the mulch, you can smell the flowers, you can do it all. You can experience, in your head, just think, oh man, the profit dollars are going to be rolling in here soon as a new season approaches. So a day like this really makes you think about it, really makes you want to get started, want to get back into the swing of things. I know there's a lot of nerves in regards to getting back into the swing of things sometimes, but once you get a couple weeks in, make sure your new billing system is working. You make sure your new mower that you bought is doing well. You make sure the new guy that you hired is doing right, by you and your customers. And some of those anxious feelings go away, and you get back into the swing of, hey, this is just another great season to be a lawn and landscape contractor. Don't know if you guys can hear it in the background. I'm going to be quiet actually for a second and see the bars on my screen. I'm guessing you probably can hear it a little bit in the background. The mowers are starting up and they're taking some of those outside. So it's just the sound of spring. The sound of spring is here. I don't know about you, but that really makes me think of sports for some reason. When I see somebody riding a mower, it makes me think of sports, which is weird, right? Being in the lawn and landscape industry, you'd think it'd be that. But just sitting right here watching all these, people ride their mowers outside, it's making me think of, like, football season. Unfortunately, that is just ended. But Katie is currently talking to someone about the profit circle, and it's really – ooh, wow, it got so quiet. That's really crazy how quiet it gets when machinery goes outside. But – I forgot what I was talking about. I think I was talking about the Profit Circle. But yes, if you are not a part of the Profit Circle and you want to see the 2 presentations, the one that Wayne did and the one that Katie did today, make sure you join the Profit Circle. Both of those will be in there tomorrow. Maybe today if I'm super motivated. But we're probably going to get those up first thing tomorrow morning, realistically, because we have to get out of here, go back home, do all the things, edit a little bit. We're not going to do too much editing, just some of the things we got to pretty up, I guess you could say. But if you want to see those presentations, either because you were here today and you love them so much you want to watch them again, or if you want to go and see them because you couldn't be here, make sure you join the Profit Circle. You can do that at patreon.com/theprofitcircle. Another way you can get there is to go to our website, profitsareus.com, and you can right on our homepage there is the link to the Profit Circle. Click that link, hit the pro membership to join that. You'll get a free 7 days. So 7 days, no obligations, no strings attached. You can drop out at any time. And guarantee, though, you're going to see a lot of value in that. Our over, let's just say hundreds of pieces of content. We have, I want to say last time I looked, it was like 130 exclusive videos, probably 150 exclusive blogs. We have 40-ish, I want to say, exclusive webinars. And then we have business meetings. We have Q&A videos that we do, tons of those. So a lot of already pre-recorded content, not to mention the content that we are constantly putting up every single month. So once again, make sure you join that. Just go to probably the easiest way, go to our website, profitsareus.com. You'll see a button for the Profit Circle, click that button. It'll take you there. You just got to sign up. You got to join the pro membership, and it's only $19.99 a month. I want to make sure that is very well known, because having basically a business coach for less than $20 a month is a ridiculous value. It's a ridiculous deal, and to have, because you get access to your business coach via Zoom business meetings, via live webinars, and just via, or I guess the Q&A as well, but also just typing in a question, typing in a whatever, comments on a video, and getting the conversation started with Wayne and going from there. So for $19.99 a month, certainly something that you should definitely partake in, the Profit Circle. So I think we're about to get somebody on here on the radio. Actually, Katie has gone down, and I believe through all the hubbub, I heard her say, "Do you want to get on something?" And I'm assuming it's the radio. So yeah, I think we're about to maybe have a guest on. So we'll see what happens. In the meantime, though, I'm kind of honestly, I don't want to say rambling. I feel like I'm just having a little chat here, but just wait until that happens and seeing where that goes. I think Katie might hop on here in just a second. She's currently rounding the table, coming into the booth. Oh, she's now having a conversation. Just two Katie's chatting it out. Oh, we'll see. Oh, we'll see. Oh, here she comes. She's rounding the corner. Anyway, yes, I think she's about to get on the radio with us. Maybe. What did the did you go down there to invite them on the radio?
Me. Yeah. He got nervous. The Echo rep. He's nervous about getting on the radio. And then
we'll just bring the radio to him.
There you go. Excuse me, sir.
You can probably make the headphones almost reach down there.
I mean, for real. And then we were talking to Katie from Scotty's and seeing if she wanted to get on. But you know how it goes especially when you're running an event. It's just nonstop everywhere. And I said, "Babe, have you eaten lunch?" Because she definitely needs to. Because she came back to check on me during the first seminar and or just check on the room, and she saw that I wanted some water. Like my water thing was empty, so she brought me a water bottle.
Nice.
I'm like, very nice. It's a little things that go a long way, and that's really what we talked about in that second seminar, was just building the relationship with your customer.
Yeah.
And they definitely do that here at Scotty's. They definitely have value added in the customer service and the events that they provide.
Yeah. Yeah, they go definitely above and beyond what is expected from, like, what most people think, oh, this is what a dealer does. That's what, the X's and O's are. They go so far beyond that in what they offer here, but also just how they conduct themselves in this environment.
Yes.
They really make everyone feel so at home. Make
Agreed.
You feel like you want to be here.
And this year was their 60th anniversary, so I really enjoyed that, just short presentation at the beginning with photos, of the original founders and when they broke off in the different factions, if you will, of the company, and just a little history, because you feel good about working with somebody that's been in the business a while.
Yeah.
Getting that longevity established. Makes you feel good when you're working with someone that's working hard to stay in the business you're in.
Yeah, and also having almost been with them for half of their lifetime.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. No, I didn't think about it like that at the time, but, the prophet, Wayne Bull, said that he's been doing this about 25 years.
Low battery. We got to get your charger.
Oh, it's on my phone. It's a low battery for this, which we're at like 16%, so that should be good for about an hour.
Okay, well, we're still going to mag charge it up. Oh,
I don't know what that is, but I like it.
It's my portable charger. Did it? Yeah, you have the lightning bolt. Harry Potter. Are you bolted up?
Oh, I'm bolted, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got the, Avada Kedavra scar on my head. I'm the chosen one.
Oh, shoot. That you are, buddy. That you are.
Chosen for something.
You're chosen for something every day.
Everybody's chosen.
Yeah.
But
anyway, we're clearly abandoned. You might be able to tell. I'm not sure what the sound difference is from when you were talking to Aaron and now.
Different.
But yeah, everybody's on lunch in a different room. We know Wayne will not be having lunch.
He's definitely
avoiding the
He's
lunchroom.
doing
He
something
he
on the
got
low.
up to get a drink, and the drinks are in the lunchroom. So, and he's still on the opposite side of the lunchroom. So,
We'll see. It's a process. I will say I have not eaten in almost 11 hours, which is like a record for me unless I'm sleeping.
I know. Like, I feel like we're both going to, like, collapse.
I have
in
about
that.
80 grams of protein in my backpack.
Okay.
So
I
when
had
we
an
get
apple
pulled
earlier.
over on the way and I say, I have about 80 grams in my backpack, I make sure I say protein.
Yes. I've got protein 80 grams. Let's just start with the word protein. Maybe just to be safe.
Just don't even use the word grams.
Yeah, let's just avoid the word grams. Is that possible? Yeah, I think it might be time for us to take our Union 15.
Possibly.
Grab some grub.
Get some people on.
We can get some extra scoopies because Walrus left and Wayne's not going to eat.
I thought walruses like to.
We can
grub
both
out.
eat for 2.
I wonder if Purple Wally had to leave. He said it was because of his dog. He had to go take him out or whatever. I wonder if it's because he wanted to go to healthy lunch.
Maybe. Yeah, let's think positive.
Shouts out to the walrus.
Shout out to the Walrus.
What do walrus eat? Do they eat fish? Are they fish eaters? I'm assuming they would, right?
I think they. Hang on. I know this because I've looked it up before for a social media, but I just can't remember.
Grub worms?
Yes, sea animals eat grub worms.
They're like
They
amphibians.
eat a variety of soft invertebrates, fish, and sometimes seals.
Oh, wow.
But like snails, clams,
Oh, nice.
worms, sea cucumbers.
See?
Look, they eat cucumbers. Sea anemones.
I didn't realize they ate seals.
Coral. I didn't realize people or like animals ate the coral.
I think I knew that only because of 50 First Dates,
Oh Jesus, God help us.
which I didn't necessarily assume was correct. But I didn't know walruses eat walruses. That doesn't sound right.
I think it's walrus, like kind of
I
like
didn't
deer
know
and
a
deer.
walrus ate seal.
No line for food. What up?
We are literally telling the masses.
Yes, everyone, there's food. The line's empty.
If you're near here,
You got to figure out where we are.
They don't know by now. They have been listening.
Oh, shoot. Okay, I think it's time to refuel my brain, if nothing
All
else.
right, go get some glycogen restored up.
Your glycogen. You want me to get you a plate?
Um,
Or play a couple songs and we'll be
maybe
back.
just a little protein. I have a bagel, which I'm looking forward to eating.
You're a bagel.
What sides do they have, I wonder?
Why don't we go back there together? Just put on 2 songs, cue them up, and we'll be right back.
I'll hop on. Wait, I'm already on. I'll
You're-
stay on.
God. Why? Here, I'll talk to myself. You go get food, and then I'll go.
But I'm already on. I'm the one. I'm 1A.
Oh my God, you're one something.
Well,
Oh goodness.
the prophet is as far away from the food as he could get.
We're live streaming on the radio. Would you like to get on? Talk about your experience. All right, there
Oh,
you go,
cool.
Daniel. You got
We
someone
are
to
here.
interview.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm going to loop this over you, Dan.
All right.
There you go. We got a whole thing going here.
Cool.
All right, while you start this interview, I'll go grab food.
All right, cool. Well, just sitting here having a conversation with Katie, and nice attendee strolls by, asks about Turf's Up Radio, and what we are. I will say before we get too deep into this, so you know what's going on here.
Hi.
Hey, thanks for coming on. First of all, we are obviously Profits Unlimited, but we also do a radio show on what's called Turf's Up Radio. It's the only live radio, 24/7 live radio for the green industry. And we have show hosts that come on. Wayne does a show. I do a show. There's several other show hosts, but it's just talk lawn and landscape, talk business, talk whatever. So that's what this is, Turf's Up Radio. We have an app, we have a website, all that kind of good stuff. You can listen to us and find us there. But thank you for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem.
Really appreciate it. If you want to just introduce yourself for people out there listening.
Hi, my name is Dorothy Jackamie. My husband actually works for Scotty's Lawn Equipment here in Hopstadt, and I come every year to help with this Pro Cutters University that you guys are at today.
Well, it's an amazing event. I've definitely been talking it up because it is such an amazing event the whole day. And what is it like because actually earlier on, me and Katie were talking about, not your Katie, my Katie, our Katie.
Yeah.
But we were talking about just the different perspectives that you get from being at different levels of entry, if you will, of this event. Like the attendees have one perspective, the vendors have a different perspective. Being a part of the staff, if you will, that puts it on, like what is that like to be a part of something like this? Because it seems like it's done so well, but it's not just organized well, but it's also like each step seems handled.
Yeah.
Like it's like seamless.
I think the one thing that is huge about this event is that this company, Scotty's, really cares about their customers. And they know that if their customers are successful, then they'll also be successful. And coming to this event, it is very well planned. I think this is probably my seventh year maybe that I've been here. And each year it just gets more organized and more organized. And it's as any other event you would have, you just keep tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. Mm-hmm. And so, on my end, I love coming. I love seeing the people that come in here because there's not a lot of places that you can come to get that one-stop shop kind of thing, right, where you can get your insurance, you can get your what you guys do at Profits Unlimited and helping with their business side and the customer service. And then you get all of this knowledge and information. And then also you get to try the things that you possibly want to buy. You get to ride on a lawnmower, you get to, try all of this stuff and you get tools like you guys do for your business side. So it's like all the way around. You get your customer service, you get your business, you get your actual mowing experience. I mean, it's all in one place, and there's not a lot of places that you can find that.
100%. And for people out there who think, man, I can't make it to the Equip Expo or what used to be the GIE, and it stinks because that's the biggest one and whatever, and I can't make it to maybe even one that's closer to me and blah, blah, blah. I think it's just like get involved, right? Like
right.
Even if you're not close to this event, it would be great if you were and you could come, but get involved in your local community with what your dealer has going on. And if they don't have anything going on, maybe have a conversation with them and say, hey, yeah, I heard about this thing on Turfs Up that they do out in, Indiana. Let's, how can we do that for us here?
Right. Right. And it's all about customer service. Like I said, you want them to be successful so you can be successful. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, I mean, anybody can approach any of your dealers and say, hey, I've heard about this expo kind of thing. And when you guys can't really see where we're at, we're really not in a huge gigantic building, and it's not, you may be thinking, oh gosh, this is too extravagant. It's really not. We're in a small building where they rent for a wedding reception and has a big parking lot. So it's not like you're looking at a huge area, but if you had several people come together and try this, it would be very successful because people come, they talk to other people, like what's been successful for you, because I've tried this and this doesn't work, or I'm thinking about getting into snow removal, or and you not only do you have the people that you are buying things from, but you have other people in the field mm-hmm. that have had other experiences. So it would be something to look into, and I'm sure that these people would happily reach out and say, yes, let me help you with that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. They obviously, putting this event together and doing it for 32 years, they have, I'm sure, like you said, even in what you've been around for in the last 7 or 8, you said, with getting better and tweaking it and all that kind of stuff. I can imagine over 32 years, what that process looks
Absolutely.
Like and how much they've learned. And it'd almost be funny. Like, I can imagine them, like, sitting having, like, a big, like a scrapbook. Not a scrapbook, but, like, like those books you have for, like, wedding planning.
Yeah.
That just, like, here's how we do this part. Here's how we do that part. Like, I would almost imagine that they could have that if they don't and, like, sell that as, like, a template
Absolutely.
to other dealers of how to, really put something on that benefits, like, everybody involved. Like,
That's right.
It's so easy to just be like, we've talked about this before, hey, let's, have people here. We're going to, grill hot dogs. We're going to have a sale maybe.
Yeah.
And
a lot of people do that. They have their customer appreciation, I guess is what they kind of do. But this is kind of like that times 10.
Right. Yeah. And like you said, it's really interesting because it's not in a huge space, but it feels like, I don't know, emotionally, it's not emotional, but like it feels like its footprint is bigger. The event footprint is bigger than the geographical space. Like when I leave here, I remember it as being this like big thing that
Right.
so many people were at, and like you had all of these vendors and like different things going on and presentations, and you had a great lunch, and you had all these different things. Because it is handled and organized so well, it makes it seem bigger. And I think hopefully as Profits Unlimited, we do a good job in making that experience good for people as well, and each of these vendors, I'm sure, bring their A game in regards to how they can help with that impact as well. But I just think it's fascinating how you don't have to necessarily have the fanciest building or the fanciest this or that, or like a great lunch. Of course, it tastes great, but it's not a sit-down steak dinner either, right? Like, but people really enjoy it, and it becomes part of like the tradition. Oh, we're going to have this when we go, and it's just so cool what it has really turned into.
Yeah, they all know what to expect. Of course, there's a lot of planning. They send out flyers and get them registered, and they know what kind of classes are coming. And I can tell you, I do the registration for the classes. They always come, and they want to listen to, where's Wayne? Where's Wayne? What classes is Wayne going to do? And today was the first day that I actually got a chance to sit down and listen to one of your classes, and an excellent job. So if anybody is looking for some information about your business, this is definitely the company to come and talk to about that for sure.
Well, we appreciate it, and it's really been just to hear him like talk about it before I was around, and be like, yeah, like we know these people, like we're it feels like familial in a way, right? Like, because when you're around someone for 25 years, I mean, you guys have been doing it for 32, but we've missed a few here and there for whatever reason, COVID and whatever. But when you have that going on, when you come here, it's like you get a hug when you come in.
Absolutely.
Kind of thing. It's so
personal.
Funny.
It's very personal.
Yes.
And they do. I mean, like Katie and Drew and Rick and Vic, they all know these people. I know a lot of faces. I'm terrible with names. But I know a lot of faces, and they know mine, and so, like, of course they know me because of my husband, and they always like to tease me, but it is a family kind of orientation because they do personally know each one of these customers that come in here, and they know what they do, and you don't find that in a lot of businesses. They don't take that interest in each one of their customers to know, oh, you have this mower, you have that mower, or you have this kind of concern or whatever, and they all know what's going on in each one of these businesses. So that's huge.
It is. So talking about this event, what is it like? What's the build-up like to this? I mean, I'm sure there's got to be a level of
crazy
and stress and thinking. I can only imagine, like, if we were to put something like this on, how crazy that would be.
Yeah, they start planning way in advance. I know they get a hold of me and like, make sure you take this day off. We really need you. So they pretty much, I mean, they put it to rest, after a few weeks after today, but then they start building on it and making plans like, oh, this is like a good idea. Or we need to involve this, or they hear some topic that people are talking about. So I think they start planning. The planning goes on all the time, but when you get down to the details, it's usually starting definitely in January. They start getting the specifics down and getting all that together.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, when we think about stuff like, what are we going to do for maybe different for like Equip Expo this year? Me and Katie do a lot of we do a lot of content and talking to people, interviews. We do some some different things, Q&A and all that kind of fun stuff. But yeah, like you get motivated right around to start thinking about it, of course. But I think that having the foresight to be like, let's keep our brains open to ideas.
You always have to keep your brain open. I do a nonprofit event, and that it seems like it's just constantly always evolving because somebody's like, oh, why don't you try this year, or you try that, or have you ever thought about this? And so I think you're right. You're always open to any suggestions. So it's like that door never shuts. It's just like you just got to feed into it and keep those ideas. So and I think that's what makes it good, because they are always listening to see what the customers are wanting or needing.
Yeah. Does it once the event's over? You said there's a few weeks where it's just kind of like, let's take a breath. And then, of course, the season is going to start then. So it's like that breath isn't that long. But
No.
during those few weeks, what is it like to be in that in-between kind of phase of, it's not the busy season. I know this is probably a little bit different for you versus, like Katie or something like that. But the in-between of, like, we're not super focused on this yet, and there's also not, like, a ton of people coming in for, like, maybe, I need parts, I need this, I need that, because the season hasn't started up. If you can answer that question, like, what is that transitional period like?
Well, actually, this is their busiest season right now, because it is winter servicing. So they have they've been doing that since December, and so all of those people who, like these people who want to get their lawnmower serviced, so they would be ready for like an early spring. That's going on now. And so the lull between the next 2 weeks, really the only thing between what they're doing now, and then is that they've got all these orders that they have to input, and then all this machinery that has to be ordered. And then it gets crazy again, because then you're piecing all, you got to put all those together, and you got to make those deliveries, and you got to call people and tell them that their order's put together and is ready to go. So wow. They're really, their only slow time at this business for them is like July. In August, when it's really hot, not a lot of rain, so it's not really a lot of stuff going on. But no, this right now is their really, really busy season.
I've never thought about the perspective of, like, this event isn't really, like, capsulated for them as much as it is for us, because, like you said, they have to take, hopefully, like, the big point of this event for them is to make those sales.
Right.
But then they have to go fulfill those, and they have to, on the back end, like the stuff that after we leave and go home, it's their turn to provide that customer service.
Right.
And it's just that, like you said, it never really stops. It's kind of
the same way for you guys. I'm sure that people have bought your program or whatever today. Yes. If they did it, they should have. And but so then you've always got that, like they're going to have the installation, and then they're going to have those questions like, oh, this isn't working. How do I do this or whatever? It's the same kind of thing. You're going to have that small lag time where they're not, they're just trying to get used to what they're doing, and then poof, then you're busy again. So, this just ensures business for later in the year. I guess I should say that. Yeah. That they know that they sell things today and they get their supplies today, that, sometime in a couple months they're going to be coming back. Where versus, they may not bought stuff until like March or April when the season starts, whatever that looks like for this year, because we don't really know. Today it's beautiful, but it could snow tomorrow in Indiana. I don't know about anywhere else. But, so they want to make sure to have those front-end sales. That way they're insured to have more sales later on down the road. Yeah,
that's interesting. It's kind of it reminds me of, what we do with our prepays is to, lock those people in, get them going, get them signed up early or re-signed up early, just figuring that out, and then, making sure we got kind of our core customer base locked in for the year. So
yeah, and the same way, it's just like, when Katie was talking today about their mega card, it's like, they get 6 months. It's like a 6 months same as cash. So, when you don't have that influx of the profit right now, because, unless you do snow removal, which this year you would have had a lot of that. And, you do have money coming in there, but a lot of people don't. They don't do that. They just do mowing or, whatever. And so you have that, I have my supplies, and they'll take care of me, and then 6 months down the road when money is coming in, I can take care of that too. So it's beneficial all the way around if you look at it as a business perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's cool that that's a big part of what they preach is that hey, we're business partners here.
Right.
So
right.
It's
absolutely.
They don't just say it though; they really make you believe it. They make you feel it.
They do for sure. This is a great company. Yeah. My husband's worked here for 36 years, so it must be something.
That's amazing.
I think it's 36. He just had an anniversary, so.
That's awesome. The longevity there, and not just like, hey, they've been open for 36 years, 60 years, of course, but they've been open long enough for me to stay there, but long enough that I want to stay there, and long enough that, I can sustain, build my life off of this, company, and all those things that whenever, it kind of goes back to what Wayne was talking about, when you have a company that produces a profit like that, you're able to continue to build, continue to make your business better,
That's right.
and offer more benefits and blah,
Exactly.
blah, blah.
Exactly. And you got to have, in this day and age, you've got to have more than just, I'll sell you parts. You've got to have that connection. You got to have that relationship, because there's just somebody else waiting around the corner, as you well know, in your business. If you don't take care of your customers, somebody else will.
Yeah, absolutely. And man, that's becoming, I'm sure, it's always has been in some way, shape, or form, but becoming such a multitude of ways that you can reach people, and that you have to reach people, and you have to put your brand out there in so many different ways. And of course, everything you did was part of your branding and part of kind of building that reputation and stuff. But like you said, there's always somebody there that, oh man, I didn't think of XYZ, that, they're there and I'm not. And not, of course, that doesn't mean you have to be everywhere, but
and it's so easy now for people to just hit a button and ruin your whole reputation with just one comment, and sometimes it's just because they were mad. It didn't even really mean that it was true. And so you really have to be careful with that too. And so that's another reason why they love connecting one-on-one with people here today, to keep that relationship going, so that they will talk highly of this business and then not have any of that backlash, know.
Yeah. No, I think that the way that they do stuff and the way that any business does stuff, keeps them where they are, or it makes, drops them down a rung or whatever, right?
Right.
So,
right.
Making sure you're doing stuff the right way and thinking about the future, because we can all make a quick buck, right? You can make a quick buck and doing a lot of probably sleazy or some stuff that may not be the right way to do it. But, when you're in business for 60 years, you probably obviously
been something right. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing something the right way and making people, trust you and happy and keeping people loyal to you. So
Exactly.
But, man, it's been a great conversation. Thanks for stopping by and putting the headset on. It's always great to get to chat and have people here on Turfs Up Radio to both introduce them to the station and introduce, the station, the listeners to the guests. So thanks for coming on and talking about your perspective as, being in kind of the back end of things.
Yeah, not a problem. Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Y'all have a blessed day.
You do the same. So, as always, a great, connection when it comes to this place here. You can never go wrong. You can never, you really can't have a bad conversation, whether it's an insight like that or a funny story that Katie and I are going to chat about here.
Oh, God, I'm scared.
About gunmen and...
Oh, Jesus Christ, you guys. I mean, it almost doesn't sound real, but it is.
Yeah. So I think you maybe heard more of it than I did.
Yeah.
Okay, so give us lay us down.
Here's this is a retelling of a retelling, so please bear with us. But this gentleman was out mowing a property, and at the time he didn't lock his vehicle, and all of a sudden he sees someone like running out from around the corner, and they get in his truck and lock themselves in. And so I don't know if this was after it escalated or before, but like he knew the guy couldn't go in reverse, but he was trying to stop him from, number one, stealing his stuff, but number two, going the wrong way down a street.
Seems fair.
So he went up to the window. He said he put his what is it? The trimmer. He put his trimmer down, ran over to his car, and his phone's in the car or in the truck. So there's that. And he pulls out his gun to try to get the guy to like not leave with his stuff, So, and then the guy, he taps on the window and the guy rolls it down like an inch, and it's just so funny. Like, it's hard to retell.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable, which makes it funny, I think.
It's like one of those stories you would hear like around a campfire or something that it's like a fishing story. It's just one of those crazy things.
And the guy that was in the vehicle was like, "No, don't shoot." Well, turns out this guy had been in prison for murder. And then he's like, "No, don't shoot me." So that's just funny.
I'm sure your buddies in Cell Block
Yeah,
C would have been real hyped up about your
I'm sure the person you killed
your
also
macho.
wish she wouldn't have killed them. But anyway, so obviously he said he was out like near a commercial property. So he yelled to the people of the commercial property to call the police. Apparently they didn't rush to get there for some reason because it was clear the person was stuck in the car and not the aggressor.
So here's what the police are thinking. This civilian has a gun. He's got it under control. We're going to go get the
First Amendment or
cat
whatever.
in the tree first. It's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so they show up, and apparently it's like snipers, K-9 units.
Oh, my
200,
God.
like cop cars in every direction.
That's hilarious.
And I really missed this part of the story, but somehow the guy gets out of the car and starts running. And apparently he's on like 5 different drugs. And so they release the dogs. And apparently they didn't call the dogs off immediately, which is hilarious. But all's well that's end well, I guess, for him anyway. The guy that was not the guy getting bit, but
luckily he said that they, whoever called the police said that they knew the situation. The guy with the gun was the good guy, let's say.
Yeah.
And
so the cops didn't like come and try to attack him in any way because they knew he wasn't the aggressor.
So.
But
that was lucky because he probably would have, probably got tased or something.
At minimum.
And the dogs.
Yeah, and the dogs were there.
I always wonder about the dogs.
But then on top of all of that, he was telling the police, like, can you guys, like, get this done? Like, I got to go mow lawns. They're like, sir, you're not going to get this truck back today. Like, essentially, this is a crime scene. So I'm sure he was thrilled about that. But then also, he got hacked via QuickBooks.
Oh, I forgot about this one, yeah.
They charged him upwards of
same
12.
Guy.
Same guy, okay? Same, like, in the same conversation. Upwards of $12,000 in charges from QuickBooks. He had to hire an attorney. And apparently the QuickBooks person that he finally got in contact, after the attorney letter, was like, yeah, I've seen you've called here 15 times. Yeah, that's why I had to take this step. Like, you didn't call back. God. You didn't do anything. So, not to hate on QuickBooks or anything, but
sounds pretty like SOP for QuickBooks.
For real. Oh, kind of sus, but But anyway, yeah, these 2 stories are from the same person, and I was just like trying not to die laughing. I mean, it's not funny in the moment, but like afterwards, he clearly, it was
over the trauma.
Yeah. And he said he called his wife before anybody could tell her, to try to get ahead of it, so she wasn't worried. And then apparently at first, she was worried about it and upset and whatever. But then she's like, that was my husband. He's a badass. Like, okay, that was a fast turnaround.
Oh, man.
Oh, shoot.
It's funny, though, his demeanor or whatever was like, we're going to have a better year this year.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to do.
Like, you can't really get much worse. Oh, goodness gracious. And that's the thing is you just can't make this stuff up. No. Like Wayne shared a story in the second seminar that we did about how the neighbor of one of our customers was driving down the road and saw one of our crew members and literally flicked him off. Like, just, you can't predict people.
When you're out there in the real world
in a boot
for 8+ hours a day, stuff is it's just bound to happen eventually. Right. Like, you can't be out there where stuff happens.
Right.
In the stuff happening world.
Yes.
And have no stuff happen to you. Just the stuff is going to catch up to you.
Even if stuff hasn't happened, stuff is going to happen.
Stuff's just guns to happen. Hopefully, maybe not as weird as a murder getting.
Yeah, let's hope none of you listening have that experience. Jesus.
Can you imagine?
No,
I can't.
I can't
imagine the guy.
Here's the thing. It's like interesting that he had his gun on him, but not his phone.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. The one time, like.
You need it.
You don't. Well, the one time.
Because I know
I'd rather have the other one. Like.
Right. I know a lot of people who do carry, and sometimes they keep it in their truck instead of on their person, and that would have been real bad.
Oh God. Yeah. That would have been.
I got you some protein, Dan. It's a chicken.
Oh, thanks.
And then I got you some barbecue to try. If you like it, I'll get you more.
Like barbecue sauce or?
No, yeah, I just poured sauce on the thing. No, it's actual barbecue.
Oh, like
pork or something. I don't know. I didn't look.
Okay. No, I'm good. I'll just try.
He just wanted some protein.
I have
he has a bagel
food in the backpack, but I'm going to try this live on air.
Oh, God,
We're
here we
going
go.
to give our honest feedback of Mark's barbecue.
I thought it was good. The sauce. Let's move the mic while you eat. I thought the sauce was a bit like after you eat a few bites, it gets a little bit of a kick of heat, but it's pretty good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah. So shout out to both Ghost and Welch's for sponsoring my afternoon with a Welch's Grape Ghost energy drink.
I feel like sponsor might be a bit of an oversell.
And by sponsor, I mean I picked this up at Kroger last night because I knew I was getting
Full charge.
Full charge, exactly. It wasn't even a discount with the Kroger card. But anyway, if this somehow gets to Welch's or Ghost and you'd like to sponsor me, I would be more than happy to represent the brand in the lawn and landscaping industry. Maybe that's something that we could do. Start an energy drink, but like come up with fun lawn puns, like mower time.
That's not the one.
Oh my God, just straight up shoot you down, doesn't care about your feelings. Oh, Malanda. They know we're funny.
I have shareholders to protect.
Exactly. Oh, here I'm going to get a little slurpy derp.
What about something like, how about this? Text in Katie's number. Your best lawn and landscape
related energy
drink
name.
names. Like not brand names, but like
Correct.
flavor names.
We're not asking for already existing names. We want you to come up with names. My phone number is 502-751-8341. Again, 502-751-8341. Text us your lawn and landscaping and snow and ice management if you want.
I have a good one for
Like
snow and
the
ice
freeze.
I was going to say frost
Yeah,
bit.
we're both. Yes.
What about this one? What about this
okay.
one? Get trimmed.
That could be borderline sus, but it's not bad. It's a good starting point. I don't see why mower was like something with mower. Like we can make it work. Mower juice. You don't know if that's supposed to go in your mower or in your body.
I don't know where to put it.
Oh, someone please come talk to us and save us from this conversation with ourselves. Dad's over there with Lumpy getting some stuff for WLS. This gentleman's taking a rest on the Skag mower.
Nice, nice. Testing its durability.
Its comfortability. It's the lean backedness of the chair.
Nice. Let's see here. I think blown away.
That's not bad.
Blown out.
Leaf it alone.
No.
Mower stripes.
Striped.
Something with striped. See, I don't have bad ideas. You just got to hash them out, work through
refine
them.
'em.
We're just spitballing here, people. If someone wants to sponsor the production of these energy drinks, please let us know. We will start working on them in Daniel's basement.
Perfect. Let's see.
Shoot.
What equipment do we have in the industry? Ooh, what about this one? Chainsawed.
Chained up. That's okay. Scratch that. Can we rewind 15 seconds and just get rid of that idea? Oh, shoot. I still feel like we can work with juiced somewhere in there.
Something like tastes like mulch.
That'll sell. That's going to be our best seller.
Smells like fresh mulch.
Fresh cut grass.
Ooh, there you go.
And you know, you were right on target about telling those guys about a 2-year rotation.
Excuse me. Got a few sniffs.
Make sure we can do it.
I think the G's are starting to make
Is that
their way
one
around.
of the names? Got a few sniffs.
On a 2-year rotation because of the trade value.
No, for sure not. I feel like we can hash this out later, TBD. As you can probably tell, the volume is increasing in here. Lunch is over, it would seem, or wrapping up. People are starting to mingle around. Make sure they got their giveaway drawing tickets. If you're wanting to win some pretty sweet prizes. I think there was a blower on that table. I don't know if it was accidentally sitting there, if they're actually going to be giving away a blower, but that would be what I chose. Surely they're going to have a giveaway for that and not let that be compared to a clock. What are you going to choose, a blower or a clock?
Time management is important.
To be clear, it's an analog clock, not a digital one.
I was thinking like Big Ben style.
Oh, God. You know what I was just thinking? Maybe we could find some names of mowers, like a V-Rod, and incorporate that into our drink names.
V Good Rod.
V Good. Maybe that'll be the name of our drink, like the whole line is called V Good.
What about if we had a line like for different types of grass?
Bermuda, fescue, crab.
Bluegrass?
Yeah.
That's blue.
It is. There you go. Crabgrass would be like seafood flavored.
Okay. They taste like the biscuits at
Red Lobster. Oh, my God. Do you want me to go get you another piece of chicken, by the way?
Oh, I'm good.
Okay. Why? Whoop, whoop. This just in. Katie did a really great job. Was just passed along to the squad.
Unofficially official. So
we're coming. Just so you know, we're coming up with energy drink named for the industry, like striped. We'll see if the Prophet has any contributions to make here in a minute.
I can't imagine, but I think there's definitely something here. There's definitely like some sort of potential, like the industry survives, I feel like, a lot of times on these drinks.
True.
So it only makes sense that we would, benefit from that.
Yeah, 100. We need to tap into that market. Talk about an upsell. Upsell this to your employees. Put a vending machine out there with striped and I already forgot the other one. Crabgrass and crabs.
Don't forget to get crabs this morning.
There you go. Grab a crab. Oh, goodness.
Oh, I'm eating a bagel.
For those of you that don't know, Daniel's learning French.
Yeah.
So he woke up at basically midnight to get his hour of French before we drove up here at the crack.
We were here before the crack.
No, literally, you guys, we were here before the sun was up. But it worked out well. We got set up in time, had a few minutes to actually chill before things started happening, He knows. He's nodding his head yes, just so everyone knows. I know you can't see it, but...
Oh, I didn't know if you wanted me to know or if you wanted them to know.
Oh, both. What kind of bagel are you eating? Blueberry?
Yeah, raisin.
Raisin.
Cinnamon raisin.
Oh, nice. And just so everyone knows, he's eating it cold or room temperature and plain. So, yes, in case you're wondering, he is a freak.
And whole.
And whole. It's not even sliced. Well, it might be sliced. I think it's sliced, but he just hasn't separated it. So, text us in the weird things that you and or your crew do.
So, apparently...
Mm-hmm.
The Prophet is telling us something.
So, someone said they came the first year that Wayne was here, bought the Library of Knowledge or whatever, that was offered back in the day, and in 1910.
It was on a clay tablet.
It was probably on a zip drive or like a floppy disk. Yeah, it was for sure probably on a CD. And then he said he doesn't know what would have happened if he hadn't gotten that stuff. So
wow,
that's a really good ringing endorsement for sure for the products that we offer.
Yeah. Maybe we could get the Prophet like some of those glasses that record stuff.
Meta glasses?
Yeah, and then he could just have them recording at these
events.
I know,
honestly, because you can't replicate how natural it sounds when you're just talking in a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
But have you seen the commercials for the new Meta glasses?
No.
They're funny.
Are they like regular glasses style?
Yeah. They're a little thick, because obviously the technology in the actual frames. But they look like Ray-Bans, just with not like a normal lens,
Nice. I know Snapchat had some glasses. like 5 years ago or so.
They sold glasses?
Like Snapchat glasses.
Oh, my God. That is embarrassing.
Like, you know.
Let us know if you have Snapchat glasses. You will be getting made fun of, so just to make that clear.
I never knew anyone that had them, but.
Thank God. Anywho, they're getting ready to call everybody back together and do the raffle, I think. You've got to be present to win. They're also doing a leaf burrito, right? A leaf burrito giveaway?
Yeah.
You just have to be closest without going over, guessing how many. I think they were like little foam balls were in the tote size leaf burrito. They've got a grill giveaway if you buy any Skag products. Don't have to be present for that. They're going to give that away after the fact, I think. But some really good items.
Yeah. Everybody goes home with something.
Yep. Even if it's just a high five and a piece of candy from our place.
Nice. We're just throwing people's candy on the way out.
Yep. Throwing it at them like a parade. Do you get some, you get some, you get some. So.
Remember in Little League when you would go to that parking lot, like preseason?
Yeah.
You'd dress up in your suits or whatever.
For the
whatever.
For the parade.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get dressed. What is it
Get in
called?
the back of someone's pickup truck.
Yes. And you would drive to this park.
Yes.
But were we throwing candy? Or were they throwing candy in the
truck?
truck?
We threw candy.
I thought so. But now looking back, it makes less sense because we should have got the candy.
I don't know. We should be showered with gifts.
That was always fun.
Mm-hmm.
Never really. I remember like 2 actual playing memories, but I remember like 1/3 of my memories are of that, of like the pickup truck scenario.
Oh my God! In the new Twisters movie, they have a twister drop down at the back of a park, and I had like PTSD. Daniel was a baby, so he probably doesn't remember anything but the wind, if anything. Or Mom just sang 1,000 Hail Marys over and over and over. But if you've not seen the new Twisters movie, if you watch it, that scene in the ballpark is pretty much how it happened to us. Just, oh my effing God. My Helamix lid just popped open.
Oh.
I guess the
That's
carbonation
happened to me
pressure.
once, but yeah.
Oh my God.
It's only happened to me when I keep it in a car for like a few days and it's hot.
Well, Welch's and Ghost, I still want you to sponsor me. So
It's explosive.
exactly.
Power. I was trying to remember that scene and I did, and
Yeah.
it's like
I mean, granted, it wasn't a Category 5 or whatever they went through, but I mean, it was a pretty massive tornado, and it was literally like right there. I remember, I can still envision like people running, trying to leave the park. Like we were not going to have enough time to get out, so we
couldn't get in the school.
couldn't get in the school that was right there, so we had to huddle up under the overhang and just hope for the best, and destroyed half the park. The half we were on, luckily, was unharmed, and yeah, it was a very interesting experience that we'll definitely never forget.
And that is why we're here today.
Literally, that's how we made it here, through the tornado. Oh my goodness.
She's currently drinking the.
I know, I'm drinking the
Explosion
explosion juice.
I can only imagine what that's doing.
We should give away like meet and greet tickets or something. We should bring a cutout of Wayne next time that people can like take pictures beside.
Yes.
That would be hilarious.
What if we made like teddy bears of him?
Bobbleheads.
Except that don't bobble because he doesn't like hobble anymore.
Vintage hobble.
Hobble beds.
Hobble.
Action figures.
There you go. Yes. Profit action figures. Some of them will come with like a clicker in the hand.
Oh my God.
Some of them will come with a headset on it.
And we can do eras.
Yes. Obviously, they'll all have New Balance, so everybody, don't worry about that. Everybody's going to get a New Balance doll.
Doll. Went from action figures to doll.
Whatever. Oh, shoot.
That's crazy.
All right. Hold down the fort for a minute, Dan. I'm going to go get rid of some of our trash.
All right, I'm holding down the fort. I only got a little bit of my bagel left, so I think we're going to be good.
Yeah.
I
have his number.
Website creation?
Yeah.
They don't have a website.
If you go to like any of the major website people like Wix.com, you can make it, but then like they have people that will also do it for you. So it's Wix, and they have people you can hire that will do it all for you too.
Now, what Katie could help you with was like, if
There you
wanted
go.
to do some stuff
So-
on social media. 'Cause
It's awesome when people get into these new endeavors within their business, right? Like you don't, you're closed off to this whole segment of the population. You get a website, boom, there you are. You're in front of a whole new segment. So
Like your content. So
we're excited
pictures, photos, videos. Obviously, you would
that
generate
we're able
most
to
of
be
your
here
content and send it to me.
and just provide this information
And then-
more or less. I mean, we're obviously
and
not
then I would
building anyone a
create
website,
and,
but
create
just
your,
the fact that,
like,
hey,
whole
we'll tell you how to
post.
get
So,
it
like,
done. We'll
the
tell you who
video
to
you're
go to.
gonna
That's
put out there
what this
and
kind
the
of
verbiage that you're going to post with the video.
event is really
And
all
then
about
if you
is
want
to.
the next level, I can even schedule it for you.
Katie's very
but-
loud, but
I also do,
um,
yeah, but I also do email
But-
marketing.
what I think my point was is, yes, that's what these events are for. Even if we don't offer it, hey, we'll tell you where to go, or a possible place to go to make it easy or whatever. The communication, gosh, I'm really struggling. I think I have lacked carbs for too long today, but that's why we're here. Is for that right here. Perfect example. Someone just comes up, talks about websites. They don't have one. How do you get it? Here's how you get it. Or at least here's one way to get one, and boom, now they're off running in a whole new direction within their business. So all good things, all good things. Let's take a quick little break here, though, on Turf's Up Radio. I'm going to finish my bagel. I'm going to get a drink of some water, and we're going to be back here in just a few minutes. Alrighty, Turf's Up. We're back here live at the 32nd Annual Pro Cutter University, hosted by Scotty's in Hobstadt, Indiana. Coming from all around the area, Kentucky and Indiana and Illinois even. So a lot of great contractors here. Currently, actually right here at the Profits Unlimited vendor booth, we are having a few different conversations that is really inspiring in regards to, it's of course important to have great equipment. It's important to have, reliable equipment, great mowers, XYZ, equipment, whatever. Trucks, of course. But it's also important to understand, how do I get, a good website? How do I, what should I do with my social media? What's the importance of it? What is SEO? How do I get on Google? How do I, all these things. How much should I post on social media? There's so much that is also important for your business, especially in regards to branding and advertising, marketing, that kind of thing. It's great that people are asking those questions literally right now at the Profits Unlimited booth, and Katie and Wayne are talking about those two things. It really goes to show that people are thinking deeper than, I need the best mower on the market. While that may be important, it's also important to, think about the website stuff. It's important to think about, the social media stuff, the branding in general. So just very, very promising in regards to what people are thinking about, how people are thinking about business, specifically here. And that's why this group of contractors is so great, because they are here to learn. They're not just like, oh, I know what all I need. I don't need a website. I've been doing it for X amount of years. I've been fine. I'm still in business. Or don't need social media. Don't need this. Don't need to know that. They're here to learn. They're here to pick new stuff up for their business. And they really help us also shape what we talk about on that information that we share. So, it's really great to be able to get influenced by them and realize, oh, this is what people want to learn about, and continue to share more and more of that information, as well as just our traditional information that we do put out. So that's awesome. I'm really glad to have those conversations and have those here in person, and be able to, I guess, in a sense, report those conversations to you, because they're important for your business as well, not just, anyone in any one given business. Branding, marketing, advertising, they're important to your business too. Even if you think, I don't need to advertise, I don't need to blah, blah, blah. Branding in and of itself is your reputation. It's how people perceive your business. It's how people perceive what to expect when they work with your business, right? Like, just because you have a poor perception doesn't mean people aren't gonna work with you and be your client, but it means they're probably not going to be willing to pay a premium price because they don't perceive you as professional. They don't perceive you as premium. So if you want to be perceived as premium, you have to brand yourself as such, and that doesn't mean highest dollar per se, but it means professional. It means keeping your equipment clean. It means having a solid website. It doesn't have to be state of the art. It doesn't have to be a million followers on social media, but it does mean that you're consistently putting effort into all of those things, because that's the way that people are going to that's what people are going to look at to build their perception of you and your business. So just the fact that people are starting to recognize that those are things that are important as well from a social media and website aspect is really, really promising, because it's not just the way of the present. It's certainly more technological means of advertising and branding is the way of the future. And websites are huge. They're massive. It's great to be in. It's great to be in that field of relevance. But also keep your eye out for what the heck's on the on the horizon for next. Doesn't mean no, I don't think we've given away the whiskey yet. I'm not sure. Probably a few minutes. Yes, we do give away whiskey here, just for any of you who may have caught that. But kind of like a little bit of an incentive, if you will, for some reviews for our presentations that we give. So yes, we do like to incentivize. I think it definitely helps people do those things for us. So, and we appreciate the genuine, the honest. We don't make them give us a good review to get the bottle of whiskey. So I think that makes it somewhat more ethical, of course. But we do like to see those reviews. We do like to see what people think and how we can continue to get better and do more of what people do like. That's obviously part of our goal too. We don't want to just constantly change for no reason and change to something people don't like or don't enjoy. But that's the real value of the reviews, is to continue to get better at what we do and provide more and more value to those people who do attend these seminars. So obviously, too, a good lesson for your business. What are you doing to get that feedback? More than just a 5-star Google review. While those are great, those are beneficial. What about the internal reviews that only you are going to see? The testimonials of "you're doing a great job, keep just doing what you're doing, thanks for your hard work," as well as you're kind of slacking on XYZ, or "you've missed my whatever for the last 3 weeks," or you're not doing as great as you were at the beginning. When you know those things, you can get better before they fire you, and that's what it's all about, is trying to figure out ways to keep those customers, keep them longer, keep them happy, of course, and that keeps them around longer, keeps them loyal to you, and satisfaction. I think as much as that debate, if you will, of satisfaction versus loyalty is a legitimate one, we also have to realize that they go hand in hand, and it's not that one is necessarily more important than the other. They really are both so important to a business's success in the long term. So, thoughts?
I vaguely heard you talking about Google reviews. So
I think my main point on Google reviews for this specific thing was they're important for different reasons, but internal reviews are also important.
Yeah.
Meaning the ones that you send to your clients, they send back to you,
right.
And they're critiquing you. So in a sense, you're almost looking for 1-star reviews more than the 5-star reviews, right? Like with the Google reviews, it's like, give me the best review you can so it makes me look great. With the internal,
but also we want to know why people were disappointed when they are disappointed.
Yes.
Yeah.
We want to know those things internally before they turn into a negative 1-star, or a bad review Google-wise, because then it's a problem. It's out there, and a few of those aren't a huge deal, but, you don't want to rack those up to have that's the only thing people see when they go see your review. So.
Yeah, and that's where I think I don't remember, you said it at some point today. I just don't remember exactly when you said it, but a month or a month and a half into the season, maybe that's a good time to send out a satisfaction survey.
Yeah.
It can be via paper, it can be via a Google form. Those are super easy to put together. But send that out, see how things are going, make adjustments, like you said, before you lose someone.
Yeah, if you wait until the end of the year, if you put somebody on in March, April, May, and you're waiting until December to send out a review, hopefully you still have them on by then.
Right.
For one, but even if they stay with you throughout that year, just because, they did, doesn't mean they're going to come back if they're unhappy. So,
right.
Just make sure you're constantly having those communication channels open and available.
Yeah.
Hence your conversation, your presentation today.
Yeah.
Which will be up once again in the Profit Circle.
Should be ongoing in many different ways, sales and non-sales, from the moment their first contact happens through the life of the customer, whether that's, like you said, a month, a year, 20 years, whatever. You got to continue to foster and build that relationship.
That's right. Very good. It's very good. I think we're about to do
the raffle.
The raffle.
The raffle.
Raffle makes me think of Raphael. Oh. I think you're hungry.
I was thinking more of the spelling of the word raffle.
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 Rascal.
Also rascals.
Rascals.
Richard Kraskell. But yes, I think we have to wrap it up.
Raffle it up. And, yeah, that's good. That's about it for us here today.
Be thinking of those energy drink names.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Think about those. Get those into us. We'll unveil those on tomorrow's show, and again on Friday and on the Profits show on Profit Time. We'll be coming to you, back from Louisville then. But
from the home base.
The home base. But for now, thanks for tuning in today during the 32nd annual Pro Cutter University put on by Scotty's here in Hubstadt, Indiana.
Yes.
The Vanderburg 4-H Community Center. That is the last call for alcohol.
Last calls.
So
yep. The flight attendant tells us to shut it down.
Shut it down. So we are out. Thanks for tuning in, and be back here tomorrow for the Pump Station.
Bye.